Hello there guys, and welcome back to our car modeling tutorial. And today in this episode we're going to continue where we left off in the previous one, where we was working our way around this little grill area down here. So the one that I had was way too small to fit the width of this portion, so I needed to remake it, and I've just done that between episodes, and I've just reused old ones that I had from before. I always like to keep duplicates of things, so I've just used all of those as we go. But what I did was I realized as well that this needs to span this whole distance at the back here. So what I did was I just made one that was way big enough just to go across that whole portion there. I thought I might as well do that at the same time. I'm going to move this out the way because what we do want to do is we do want to make a little bit of work on here. I am just for now going to bring in a new box. It's just a super easy way to duplicate special and stuff, so I'm just going to bring in a new primitive here. Inside here what we're going to want to do is we are going to want to do what we need to do in terms of inserting edge loops, but I think what we might want to do on this edge, because obviously we want that little bit of curvature to this as well. Let me just go inside here. I'm going to do what we did similar to the exhaust portion, and we're going to drop some bits in here. Oops. Drop some diagonal bits inside here so that we can remove those extra edges. I don't think it has a back. No, it doesn't. That's fine. So I'm going to grab all of these and these, all of these as well, and under here. So I've grabbed all of those bits. I'm going to hold Control and hit delete, just so it's nice as it runs around that corner. And what we're going to want to do now is we are going to want to add in some edges to this just to help it out. So let's go at the front and at the side here. And then obviously it's going to curve way too much, so let's maybe let's try dropping one on either side. Maybe go for a second one. Okay, so that's looking okay. What I maybe will do is I'm just going to grab all. Oops. Just make sure I've still got that selected. I'm just going to grab all of like the most frontal lower vertices down here, because it is sat right on the edge there, and we'll probably might see through, some shadows might break through, so let's go, some light sorry might break through, so let's go and do that. Bring that forward. Okay, so that's looking nice. I'm going to quickly just combine this new cube, and then this bit here, and then I'm just going to go separate. And I'm just doing that just so it resets all the information, the pivots in the right spot, so we can just jump straight on here, duplicate special, rather than trying to affect that ourselves. Okay, so just hit 3 on there, so that's looking quite good. So we're going to want to use this. I'm going to want to duplicate it because we do want to use it through there as well. I am going to maybe actually duplicate another one and just slide those out of the way in case we need them. So let's bring this one in here. Okay, so it looks like, based on the references, that this one here doesn't have any gaps inside, so we'll need to remember that as we go. And we'll maybe just having a look here. We'll maybe just aim for a full one sitting in the center, something like that. That should be fine. So what we'll want to do with this is I'm just going to try and go fairly rough. You guys might want to spend a little bit more time, so I am going to delete all of those and all of those. So I'm going to try and leave it so I've got one left on either side. We're not going to need all the ones at the bottom here, so I'm just going to drag along there as well, and I'll hit delete, and then across the top we've got a couple extra as well, so we'll get rid of those. Now in between episodes again I will be fine-tuning this, so I will spend a little bit of time sorting this out. So let's go then and add in our lattice under deform. I think 4 should be okay, maybe 5 even, so maybe we'll go maybe maybe we'll go 4, and then across, let's think, maybe 6, because we don't have too much of bend in here. I've already got it so that this lower corner is fine. So if we go to our lattice point here, I'm going to drag and select all those top lattice points. What we want is for this to come along. I'm just looking for this at that far section. So just that it's a similar distance to what we have in this lowest portion down here. I'm not caring about the center just yet. Let's go take these ones, or maybe just take the whole lower bit. Something like that. I'm going to grab, so we're going to want to think about the center now, and we need to think about this for the top and the bottom. So let's pull these out. Okay, so we can see at the top, that's sitting in quite a nice position for that, so something maybe like that. The bottom's not too bad either. Maybe we'll grab these bits here and just pull it in a little bit. Just like that. And that means I can grab these ones here, pull these into position. Okay. Then we can check the top. So it looks like in the top we're going to want to bring them a little bit more, so maybe select all of the top bits and all of these top bits. Something like that. Looking quite nice. I'm going to select this bit and this bit. I'm mirroring because obviously we are going across the whole lot, so I'm just selecting the kind of corresponding pieces. And then let's go and select maybe these lower ones over here. And I'm just pulling in, I'm just focusing on this bit here, on those. And then I'll maybe just go for these lowest section to pull in at that bottom bit. And then let's go top corners too. Something like that. And then I think that top portion is looking good as well. Okay, so that's looking nice. So I'm going to grab this and I'm going to go to edit and delete all by type of history. So we can get rid of that extra mesh. And then what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to grab each of these inside here, so we can see that anything out width of this band we don't want. So I'm going to run around real quick and delete that. I'm just going to pause the recording so we can jump back into it in a second. Okay, so that's us back in then just here. So I've taken all that down. I also deleted all the faces inside because it is a see-through portion inside here. So I deleted all the flat faces in there. I've also added the darker color to it as well. Still could do with a little bit of tidying up, but I'll maybe do that a little bit later. But we can see now inside there that's looking really nice, and then having that extra little step for that grille, that extra level of detail, looks really good too. So that's looking nice. We could maybe now continue moving up the rear portion of the car here. We do have a little bit of work when it comes to the kind of surround, so maybe the rest of this episode, hopefully we should get those surrounds finished. We might have to cross over, but hopefully not. Also, in between previous episodes, what I did to fix the wing was I removed the vertical line that we added here and added horizontal ones across there. So that made it look a lot better, a lot less wavy, and we can see there going along it's a lot smoother. It also gave us this nice little effect down here too, which is fine, so that's looking nice as well. So let's think about inside here then. So we have two different kind of grille surrounds we need to build. We've got one that runs up and about here, and then one that goes underneath. So we'll maybe do this one first. What I'm thinking we could do for this is we could maybe, let's have a think, we could maybe start it with a plane. So let's bring the plane out here. I'm just going to reduce this right down to 1 and 1 for the subdivisions, and then I'm going to give it a rotate around here to -90. We're obviously going to need to have a look at our back view, and what we're going to aim to build is this portion just here. and it looks like we've got a relatively flat bit first, so that's what we'll think about in the first instance. So we're going to grab this down here. Now it does look like there's maybe a seam, but all it is more of a crease. So we'll have that there. I'm going to bring these over to the center, and let's go with this all the way over to this edge. Okay, so let's bring that into position there and there. Okay, so that's looking okay. We'll move it over here as well in our side view. So in our side view here, we want to be bang in the center, and then these ones here, we're going to come down there. Okay, so that's looking okay. We can see that's looking nice inside there. What we'll do is let's grab this top edge. I'm going to hit Control E, and I am going to move this up, something like that. I'm going to get nice and close, and this one here I'm going to bring in this direction because we're going to extrude this one edge to go up to facilitate the rest here. So let's go and take this. What we'll probably want to do first is I think we'll want to take that in there, like that. Let's go for this edge, hit Control E. I'm going to bring this up here. Let me just go for my wireframe on shaders so it's a little bit easier for you guys to see. Okay, so we'll do that. We'll get this up tight in that corner, and then this sitting about here. So on the blueprints it looks a little bit pixely here, but this top section is about the same width as this section here. So we'll maybe do something a bit more like that. We're going to want to make sure that this is looking nice in our side view here. So let's go for this one first. And this one here. Okay, let's maybe take both of those that way just a little bit. Okay, so that's looking quite good. And then let's grab this edge. I'm going to hit Control E, and we're going to bring this all the way into the center here. And I'm just going to hold X to snap those there. So I've just created a shape that looks something like this. And then obviously we want these to come and move out here as well. Okay, and then if we go back into our rear view, we can see that we do want to raise this up. Something like that. Okay. Now what we do want for this is we do want this to sit just underneath what we have here. So I'm going to hit 1. I'm going to grab our top vertices here. I'm going to snap it to, I'm holding V and snap it to the center point. And then I'll just bring this one back a little bit here. So we're going to do something like that. I'm going to insert edge loops. I'm going to bring one in at every point that we have on that portion above, which is going to allow us to snap to that. And we want to do this so that we're following that same geometry that we have there. We already know that this is looking good up here. So I'm going to snap that to the same point and then just pull it down. Same over here. And then the same over here. I'm going to pull that down so it's a nice consistent size. And then what we'll do is we'll maybe just get this sitting in there uniformly as well. So maybe we'll push out a little bit. So we'll want to follow this kind of line here. So I'm going to grab this and I'm going to push it on that Z axis towards the back. Like that. And that's looking okay already over there. Okay, so that's looking good. Let's grab our insert edge loop, and I'm going to do the same over here. We're going to want to try and stick on the same kind of curvature trajectory here. So I'm going to pull all of these out, and I'm just mirroring the points above, dropping in a new edge. So we can move around there, something like that. Okay, so that's looking quite nice there. Let's go and grab all the edges apart from those central ones. I'm going to hit Control E. I'm going to pull those in on the Z. I'm using the world option there as well. So pull those in. Like that. Let's quickly grab these two. I'm going to combine and separate just so I can quickly duplicate special in there. Okay. So that's looking quite decent. Let's go then and see what we can do about tightening this up. So we're nice and sharp up top. We are nice and sharp down here, so let's maybe drop just the one. We can go across there as well. We can drop here, and then we're going to drop on both sides running up there. Okay. What we maybe should have done is we should have maybe snapped this one first, but we'll just pull that out and we'll just go roughly to the right spot. Okay. I'm going to grab this vertices here and just snap it to this one, and this one here to there. So we've matched that over there. Let's hit 3 and see how that sits. And hit 3 on the top one as well. So see, that's moving around perfectly under there. That's also looking really nice as it goes around there as well, nice and sharp, which is good. I am going to drop one more though. I'm going to go on either side of this because it is quite an angled piece, and then we can see we've got that extra line that runs on there, which is good. So that's nice. Let's go then and take one of these. Because we know it's this type of basic honeycomb mesh that we created, so let's go and rotate this around -90. And then we're just going to do the same as we did with the previous piece. Let's just smooth that off, make sure that one's smooth too. Yep, so we're going to do exactly what we did with the previous piece. So we're going to pull that roughly into a starting point, and it looks like this is very close to that portion there. Size wise, it's not looking too bad just now. Let's maybe reduce it down just a little bit more. We do need to pull it over here. So we'll maybe reduce it down to there. Okay, so that's looking good. Let's have a go then at deforming this, and we'll go for a lattice. Okay, so everything's on the opposite axis, so let's reduce that down to 2. Let's boost this one up to maybe 6. What we could do before we actually add the lattice, we should probably reduce height as well, just to save us a little bit of work. Maybe something like that. We could maybe rotate this just to kind of give us a better starting position. Maybe something like that. So let's go then, let's see deform, let's go lattice, reduce that down. So let's go for maybe 6, maybe 8. Going that way should be okay, and then going up maybe, I'm thinking maybe 3 should be okay. Yeah, I think 3 should be fine because of that rotation. That should be okay. And let's get our lattice points. So I'm going to grab all this top. It looks like for the most part we actually want to come forward with this, because I'm just going to get it in position how I want it to be in the center. Okay. Let's take all of these and again get it roughly in that right spot in the center area here. something like that. Let's grab 2 lots on the side here. So again, I'm just looking around this area. So something like there. And maybe just the edge ones. Okay. Okay, let's go for these 2. And again, you guys can spend as much time fine-tuning this as you would want. Okay, and then we're looking at the top here. The top, for the most part, is looking quite good. Those sides are looking quite good. Maybe I want to pull it a bit further forward. And then maybe the same on this side as well. Okay, so I think that's looking nice. So let's go grab that. And then once we're happy with that, we can just simply go to edit, delete all by type of history as usual. So that's looking quite nice. So what I'm going to do now again is I'm going to pause the video. I'm going to get this into position. There are holes in this one, so I'm going to run through, get rid of those, and then apply my darker material to this too. So I'll pause the video real quick. Okay then guys, so that's us back. So I've got that all trimmed down and looking nice then inside here, which is good. So we can see that whole bit there is looking really, really cool inside. Looks like I might have actually missed a couple of faces here. It's a little bit of a pain, I'm sure you guys would agree as you go through there, just get those details in, but I think we're looking good. Okay, so we've got our honeycomb running around as part of that, which is cool. So our next bit then is to kind of do a surround for this whole grill. So this is probably going to be a little bit hard. So let's maybe just go for it. Let's see in terms of our rear view. Okay, so we can see that we've got this bit that runs all the way around. It looks flat for the most part. So maybe what we'll do is we'll create this flat part here and then we could maybe extrude backwards. That might be the easiest option to do it. So let's go and do similar to what we did previously. I'm going to grab in another plane. I'm going to bring this over to the back here. Let's get this rotated around. Say negative 90. And I'm going to reduce this down to 1 and 1 subdivisions. And then using my back view here, maybe what I'll do, just to make this a little bit easier, especially for you guys to see, is I'll maybe move everything else in here. Let's maybe go and get rid of X-ray as well. Okay, so our aim then is to create this. That's going to run around here. Now it's a little bit weird because there is a little bit of a change to some of this. So for example, it hides behind underneath this top grille. We have like a reversing camera that's sitting about here, and then it comes forward as part of the headlights. So it looks like it runs until about the Audi R8 badge, so it runs until about this point. So let's grab that bit first, so we'll go to there. Okay, and then on this side view here, we can see that we are starting behind there. So that should be tucking in underneath, which looks good. We'll maybe, as part of this, make sure that this bit intersects under there, so we won't be able to see it. So that should be fine. Okay, so we'll take this and let's grab it, or let me take the vertices here. This is a bit awkward. There we go. So we'll take these and we'll come in, maybe something like that. Again, we'll add curvature to this afterwards. So we go to that R8 badge. We step out a little bit, something like that. And then I'm going to hit Control E again. And this time we go all the way to the kind of just before the starting of the headlight. I'm just looking here at this point, we are about level with this. So I want to go to something like that. We're about level with that underside. And then as part of the headlight, we want to protrude out so that we are maybe not quite level. Because we want to go Control E. We want to go again to where the headlight starts, and at this point is when we want to be level with this portion here. So something like that. Okay. What we could do is we could snap. Is that smooth? That's not now. What we could do is we could snap this over here. Just there to help us go around that little bit. Okay. So this now runs along the line of the headlight. So I'm going to hit Control E on here, the tail light, sorry. And I'm just going to go all the way to the end, down here. And then I just want to adjust those vertices so that we can run around this corner. So I want to be something like that. And then I'm going to grab both of these. I'm going to come over here. Like so. So again, we need to find a good balance to meet both of these blueprints. And then at this point here, I think we want to be about straight, maybe just a little bit there, so that should be okay. So we're going to go for that edge, we're going to hit Control E, and this time we're going to go down. So we're going to go down to this corner. I want to make sure we're coming in this direction. And then we want to swap these around. I want to be able to move around this corner here, so let's go and do something like that. Okay. We're going to need to just make sure we're actually in front, just there, and matching either side. And then at this lower portion, let's grab that edge one more time. I'm going to hit Control E, and we're going to run this right over into that center. Now, I'm looking at the blueprints again, and we don't want to go actually all the way to the middle. There's no kind of indication here, but it looks like when we get about 3/4 of the way through the headlights here, that we do have a little bit of a change, or the tail lights again, sorry. So let's take these, and let's pull these out, and again, maybe just about to there. And then what it looks like it does is it looks like it kind of steps in a little bit. So we'll want to pull this all the way over to our bumper just here. Something like that. So we do have a line. I think what might be best is let's go and take it over here. Just going to hold V to snap to that same point. We're going to go edge. I'm going to hit Control E again, and we're going to pull. And this time we want to go to roughly in line with this bit here. And we're actually going in, so we do need to extrude this bumper in a little bit more. Excuse me. Pull that in a little bit more, and then we'll hit Control E here again. And then this is going to go all the way to the center. Something like that. Okay, so we've got that running around there. That's not looking too bad. Let's go and take this bumper here, and it's going to let me select this. There we go. So this extra line that we've got, we'll probably want to start pulling this in a little bit more. Okay, something like that. And I'm just going to isolate this bumper selection here, and I just want to make sure, even though we're probably not going to see this too much, I still want to make sure it's going to look nice. This is probably something I'll put in a little bit more detail in between episodes again. Let's come in here. Okay. Okay. So then that kind of goes on the inside there. So that's the kind of rough shape that we're looking for here. And this is kind of double stepped, so we'll go over that double stepped in a minute. We do, obviously, I'm concerned that we're getting quite long for this episode. So in the next episode, what we'll probably do is we will add some more lines through here. We'll start pulling things out to make sure that they're looking good, to get this a lot smoother, and then we'll extrude that in. But I think we'll definitely leave that until the next episode, guys. Last thing I'll do is, let's maybe just quickly combine these, separate, and then let's go for a duplicate special on here, just so we can start to see that developing a little bit more. And then guys, so we're looking good. We've got these extra little vents in, which are looking really nice. It's starting to take a lot of shape in this back of the car here. So please, if you enjoyed the episode, make sure you're hitting that thumbs up. If you didn't, hit that thumbs down. Please subscribe to the channel if you are new, and I will see you in the next one.